Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to talk about the Venezuelan situation with Maria Machado. You may or may not be familiar with this story. I don't know if it's the biggest story in the news right now, but I just read a little bit about it. And this is a majority opposition leader, a person who has been outspoken and an advocate for democracy, the regaining of traction towards democracy in Venezuela against the current prevailing government and officials. And she is currently a fugitive, and she has been offered a Nobel Peace Prize, which she would have to go pick up in Norway, apparently, and it would expose her presence and location. So she's in a predicament. And this is kind of a big, messy story, but I want to weigh in just on a couple of points here. First of all, it involves the assumption that democracy is a foregone conclusion as being superior to their existing way of government. Now, I am obviously and admittedly no expert in Venezuelan politics. However, I do know that democracy, as I've spoken about in my previous videos, is not always the best first solution. It can be a great solution to prevent war and to settle disputes as a last resort, but it is a poor substitute for independent creative control and leadership by somebody who actually is representing the people. That is a person who is empowered by whatever means necessary, whether it's an election or by just getting there somehow, which has been shown throughout history to be very effective up until and including they are corrupted, at which point they cease to be representatives of the people and begin to transition into a selfish work capacity, if that makes sense. But anyway, this woman, Maria Machado, has been hailed by U.S. leaders at the moment as being a hero, and it is not surprising that she's being offered a Nobel Prize. And it's the part that it's a foregone conclusion that her position, just because it rhymes with our rhetoric in this country, is superior and deserving of support and recognition. I think that actually the best way to look at this, really the only fair way to look at it, is to separate her politics from the story itself, which is, should she expose herself and travel to Norway to pick up her prize? Whether you are in agreement with democracy or some kind of different structure of government, or whether you understand a great deal about Venezuelan politics or not, isn't the question. You have to actually identify the question, and the subject of this one is, should this lady pick up her Peace Prize? Is it deserved? Is it helpful? And what is the ultimate cost and effect of that? I've spoken also about Peace Prizes. The Nobel Prize has become cheapened. Okay, this story aside, it has become a token trivial prize that is printed off willy-nilly. People give it to themselves occasionally, and it has become meaningless. It has become so common and easy to print off, like so many other things. If you ask me, honorary PhDs, canonizations, that is becoming a saint or a knight, being knighted, these have become tokens of bribery. They've become tokens of, we're going to just include you in our little club, and as a welcoming gift, we're going to print this off real quick. And we don't really care if it cheapens it. It's a crowd pleaser. It looks good in the headlines, and that's all we're doing it for now. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like. It's a cheap bullshit prize that gets printed off for whoever the hell wants it, whoever happens to be friends with whoever's printing it. That's what it looks like. I'm not even kidding. And my biggest concern, I'm going to circle back one more time to the assumption, the absolute, total, groundless, baseless, without precedent, without fact-checking assumption that she is in a superior and beneficial position with her rhetoric, with her ideas. I think, first of all, I'm going to talk just a little tiny bit about democracy. This isn't going to be a long video. Democracy represents the will of the people on a good day. When democracy is a form of government, like we are told in this country, in the United States, there is a gaping security problem, if you're concerned about it. And that is when it's combined with the expectation of capitalism, some kind of free market, you have an obvious conflict of interest that we just never talk about. And that is that votes can be purchased. hang on, I'm going to say that twice. When you're being told on one hand that democracy is superior, and on the other hand that the market dictates prices, that supply rises to meet demand, and the people in power, that is the elected officials, have control of the treasury, what does that tell you about that? Does it create a conflict of interest where you can just, print off money, and you're also expected to be elected by votes that can be bought? Do we ever talk about this? Is this a new idea? Is this a problem for anybody? Is it a feature that they're not trying to talk about because it's working out for their advantage? And in which case, are they printing off peace prizes for Venezuela for people who are wanting the same system to become popular around the world? And is there any legitimate objection to this system? Is it great, as we're being told, and to just not ask questions and keep our head down and stay out of trouble? Don't rock the boat, just love democracy, or else you're un-American? Is that what I'm hearing? Because it sounds like it. I'm going to be honest, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like we're hearing a lot of trash talk about dictatorships as a fundamental principle, assuming that every one of them is corrupt and evil. Well, I would like to see a source. Can I see a link that wasn't manufactured? Can I see some news that wasn't bullshit? Can I just hear something that isn't bullshit? Can I get my own voice out there? Because that's my main metric. Who's hearing me? Because if they're not hearing me, then I'm not hearing other people. That's how that goes. So, it's the assumption. That's my problem. My problem is that there's too many lies, too many assumptions, and a foregone conclusion being rammed down my throat by the media and our government. I don't care what they're saying, except that all I'm hearing is their damn voice. So, I don't know how you feel. I wish I knew. Reach out if you like with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.